Where am I? Am I reviewing a book? Did I even read a book? I can't remember. I think I was reading. There were people doing things to get to a thing. Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, my name is David Popovich, aka the Bookworm, and welcome to Bookworm Reviews. Sit back and relax as we dive into Insurgent, the second book of the Divergent series by Veronica Roth.
The world is a vampire.
God, this series. I honestly forgot I reviewed Divergent. I can barely even remember it. Except that I thought it was stupid. The concept makes no sense. A dystopian society where people must choose a faction based on a single human trait. But it turns out there are special people, like our main character Trish, who are divergent. People who have many human traits. So in other words, a human being. This is stupid! I get this is a Brave New World kind of society, but that book explained how and why everyone was happy being who they are. There is no way for this society to work. Literally, divergents are just people. That's it. Believe it or not, there is nothing special about having multiple traits. And here we are with the sequel, which, honestly, I was not thrilled to read. But then I saw the movie trailer. What the f*** is even happening? Okay, anything with crazy visuals like that must have something going for it, right? I mean, while I wasn't a fan of the plot, I did praise the writing for being fast-paced and interesting. So what happened? Chaos! Turns out the intelligent, erudite, and yes, I originally pronounced them erudite, tricked Trish's faction, the Dauntless, into becoming mind-controlled servants to wipe out Abnegation, Trish's previous faction. Trish isn't under erudite's control because Divergent equals magic. She and Total Hunting Boyfriend 4, also a Divergent, stopped the program, but not without losing both of Trish's parents. The surviving Abnegation run off, the Dauntless divide with some going to Erudite and the others to Candor, and Trish and 4 run off to Amity to hide and figure out what to do next. While the events are over, Trish is still feeling the weight of her actions. How are you, Trish? It's not a strange question, after what we've been through, but I tense up when he asks it, worried that he'll somehow see into my mind. I haven't told him about Will yet. Oh no, Will! Not Will! Anyone but Will! Who the f***'s Will? Oh, right, her best friend who she killed because he was under mind control. You think something important like that would stick better? As Trish rests up in Amity, she meets several Abnegation refugees and begins to learn that her former faction was about to do something big. It's a shame this happened when it did, Susan says. Our leaders were about to do something wonderful. Really? What? I don't know, Susan blushes. I just knew that something was happening. I didn't mean to be curious. I just noticed things. Well, this causes Trish to look deeper into the situation and discovering that there was more behind the attack. There is a reason you don't know all the things I know. A long time ago, the Abnegation were entrusted with some sensitive information, says Marcus. Janine attacked us to steal it, and if I am not careful, she will destroy it. So that is all I can tell you. But what is this secret? What does it all mean? And how does Trish being divergent tie into all of this? And that's all you get from the central plot. The rest of the book is basically a world-building book. A chance to have Trish and 4 go back and forth to the different factions, mainly to give Veronica the opportunity to showcase those that were merely talked about in the first book, as a way to show the good and bad qualities of each. All the while, the central mystery goes through Maze Runner syndrome, where we are told there is something mysterious happening, that will be a big thing if the public knows about it. But there is no advancement. It's just mysterious for the sake of mystery, as our characters stick around till it finally reveals itself at the very end. But there has to be more, right? Yes and no. There's no real goal or narrative through line. The closest we have is Trish dealing with the aftermath of having to kill her best friend, all the while hiding it from everyone. But most of it just comes off as a mopey teen crawling through her skin as she deals with the book's themes of identity within the faction system, since she doesn't really belong in one. Oh, Marty Thresher! Where am I? Oh yeah. In short, Trish feels like an outsider since she doesn't belong to a high school clique, as shown when she meets her old faction again. They were my family's friends and neighbors and co-workers, and before, their presence would have encouraged me to be quiet and self-efficiency, but it makes me want to talk louder, to be as far from that old identity and the pain that accompanies it as possible. Then you have her develop her relationship with Formore, which is one thing I can give credit to the Divergent series. No love triangle. Trish loves Spore, he loves her, no third wheel dependent to tweens, and it adds to Trish by having someone to support her as she's going through all the feels. Good for you, book. Now, if only you could stop talking about how hot he is every 10 pages. He smells like sweat and fresh air and mint from the swab he sometimes uses to relax his sore muscles. He smells safe too, like sunlit walks in the orchard and silent breakfast in the dining hall. We get it! He's hot! Now do something interesting! As well as them discovering the faction lists are grouping together to revolt against the faction system, led by a super secret reveal of a once thought of dead character connected to one of the main ones that's supposed to be a big deal but only comes off as cliched. In the hopes they finally dissolve the faction system. No factions? A world in which no one knows who they are and where they fit? I can't even fathom it! I can. It's called being a human being! Even with all of that though, this book is just boring. I was never able to connect with any of the events happening. Some of it comes from the fact I still think the faction system is just a poor man's idea of a high school. Honestly, I couldn't even stop thinking the whole book was taking place in a school. And it's aimless. I'm not joking. The two leads are just going to different location while Trish is all rat in a cage. And even that gets mucked up. Look, Will's death is nothing more but a ruse. A slightly likable character meant to die to help our main character go through an emotional walkabout. The book is focused a lot on this one point. Then it's over like the flip of a light switch. One minute she feels like committing suicide, the next, oh, I understand everything now. I'm all better. Development? We are even given a chance to understand what makes Divergent so special, and it's basically nothing. But what about all those crazy visuals from the movie? Yeah, all of that never happens. Even the filmmakers knew this book had nothing going for it. Insurgent does the worst thing a middle book can do, acting like a bridge between the beginning and end, but having nothing of real merit on its own. Really, the only part I found interesting was at the very end, when we actually get a plot twist, only to have the book end on a cliffhanger. You want to know how bad this book is? It's been 4 days since I finished reading it, and I can barely remember any of it. That's how little of an impact it has on me. It's aimless, cliched, has an idiotic setting, all leading to nowhere, and... What were we talking about? Where am I? What about you, Internet? What's your opinion about Insurgent? A special shout out to Sarah Acosta for suggesting the book. Thank you for your support. If you have a book you would like me to review, let me know in the comments below. And now, it's time to say goodbye. For a while. I need to take a break because the Cleveland International Film Festival is happening soon. But don't you worry, I'll be back in April with, if my math is correct, 100th weekly review. And trust me, I'm gonna need it. Till next time, have a nice day.